7 o'clock. I'll call the meeting of the Grafton Finance Committee to order. Tonight we're conducting a public hearing on the various warrant articles for the October 17, 2022 Fall Town Meeting. I would entertain, let me just say that this meeting is being done hybrid. It's live and being on Zoom recorded. Present in the room tonight is Heather, Mark, Nick, Skip, Sue. Online is Angelina and Victoria and Greg. Is that other finance? Oh, that's you. You're the finance committee?
That's the other one is me, yeah.
That's you, okay.
I'm gonna
So
change
Dan is the only one that's not here right now? Are we expecting, have we heard, Amber, do we know if
He's
Dan's
always
coming or
late.
not?
He's always late.
As far as I know, I believe Dan's coming.
Okay, all right, so we'll get started. So all votes will be by roll call. So I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay. And you get that? It was done in stereo, the moving and the seconding.
Just decide.
Is there any further discussion? All right, I'll take a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Heather?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
Okay, so first on the agenda tonight
Art,
is, yep, I'm sorry.
we need to read the legal notice.
Oh, we do?
It says in the agenda.
Oh,
We'll read the legal notice.
I'll read it.
Oh, wait.
According to Article 2, Section 2-3 of the Grafton Town Charter and Article 3 of the Town Bylaws, the Finance Committee will hold public hearings to permit public discussion on the subject matter of all articles contained in the warrant prepared for the Fall Town Meeting scheduled for Monday, October 17th at 7 p.m. The public hearings of the Finance Committee will begin at 7 p.m. and will be held Wednesday, September 28th in Conference Room A and Thursday, September 29th in Conference Room A and on Zoom. Interested citizens are invited to attend any of these public hearing dates and offer any comments via Q&A on the Zoom webinar, Grafton Finance Committee. It was posted on the town bulletin board and the Grafton News on 9/15 and 9/22. All right, so first on the agenda are Articles 1, 14, 15, and 17, and that's going to be presented to us by the Finance Director and the Town Administrator. So Evan, Mary, who wants to handle it?
Mary, do you want to go or you want me to go?
I can handle that.
Okay.
All right, why don't we start with Article 1, Mary?
Okay, so Article 1, basically what that all means is if real estate or personal property is not in excess of $100 for 2 quarterly billings, accepting this Mass General Law will allow the town of Grafton to bill the whole amount, which is less than $100, on Q1 and Q3 billing. So, for example, say a resident has, $45 on Q1, $45 on Q2. Accepting this Mass General Law, we would just then bill out on Q1 and Q3 the $90. The town will save money on printing and postage by doing this.
How many bills you say we have that are like that?
There was about less than 20.
Okay. Let the record show, Amber, Dan is here now. Hello, Dan. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Are there any questions on Article 1? All right, the next article is Article 14, if you want to walk us through that one.
That's me, Mary. I can do that one.
Yep.
So currently, between our bylaws and our charter, there is no legal authority for me to enter into contracts that are not spelled out in Mass General Law. So I would like the ability to create a contract for the Assistant Town Administrator, the Deputy Chief of Police, and Police Lieutenant.
And so this would authorize you to go up to like 3 years if you want to do them similar to what you
Yep.
do for the police chief
Right.
and everybody
Yep.
else?
Same thing I'm doing with everybody else. It's just I don't have the legal authority to do it with these 3, and they're positions that we think would be benefited by contracts.
Absolutely.
So are these not currently under contract? Is that what this?
They are not. So we have agreements in
Yep.
place, which is the workaround, but it doesn't afford the town or the employee the same protection of a contract.
I think it makes perfect sense to do that.
Does this add a new position? Deputy Police Chief?
I added a position of Deputy Police Chief that starts October 3rd. So, and I can't do a contract for that either. So So that's what we're looking to do.
Any other questions on that?
I think you have Angelina on Zoom.
Go ahead, Angelina.
What is the logic, or what was the logic behind those not being contracted positions to begin with?
So we have other, like the Mass General Law provides the ability for the town to contract with a town administrator, say, or your bylaws or your charter. We'll call out something specific. So let's say, for example, the finance director. We have a contract with the finance director because the Mass General Law says you can have a contract with that position. These other positions don't have any support in the Mass General Law anywhere. And so some communities add them to their bylaws and some do not. It's my opinion that we should just add them and be able to create contracts for those positions.
And the benefit of that is that it will protect.
It protects the
Team.
town, it protects the employee, and it also gives us a little more latitude to negotiate. So that, you know, when you're in the type of hiring situations that we find ourselves these days, you're now able to work with the prospective candidate a little bit more to bring, you know, talented people on board.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good questions.
Absolutely.
Ian, did you have your hand up? No. Anything else on Article 14?
Are there any
Okay.
other positions that we might want to do this in the future? So it would make sense to make this more open-ended, or does it have to be, you have to list the specific positions?
So I went back and forth with council on that exact question, Greg. And the advice I got from our labor council was to keep it to the things that you actually want to contract. And there weren't anything, I'll be honest with you, there's nothing in my mind for the foreseeable future that we would need to do a contract on.
So right now, Mass General Law allows you to enter into contracts with the police chief, the fire chief, the director of finance, town accountant, the town treasurer, and the assessor.
Yep.
And the library director.
Correct.
So now the other positions that you have, the building commissioner, the town planner, conservation agent, things like that, how do you handle those? Those are in the bylaw?
Those are in the bylaw.
Okay.
Right? Just-
These here weren't covered anywhere else, so now you want to cover them through contract.
Correct.
And these positions too, you would consider them as confidential.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So they're a little bit different. Like, and no offense to the town planner here.
None,
I don't-
I did not mean any disrespect.
I don't consider him to be confidential. He's not going to be coming into union negotiations or anything like that. But the deputy police chief, a police lieutenant, or the ATA
Absolutely.
could certainly sit in on those.
Yep.
So that's where I separate.
No, that makes sense.
Did I
So-
answer your question, Greg?
Yes.
Go ahead, Sue.
So we have a classification plan, personnel classification plan, so that doesn't apply.
So, well, it depends on how you write your contract and what you're trying to accomplish. So,
You could refer to the personnel bylaw.
you likely will. So a lot of the contracts they'll say, you know, your benefits consistent with the bylaws of the town of Grafton, blah 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 blah. But there are other things where you might want to stray from. So if you can't find an ATA for 8 months and your salary classification plan is behind, you might want to go outside of that and offer a better salary or different benefits or you know, different vacation or something like that. I don't think that any of them will stray wildly from what we already have. That's the point of doing a salary and classification study, but it gives you a little bit of latitude
Okay.
to try to get the person you want.
That
And
makes
these, and also these are positions I think that we want to be able to get the people we want, and not be, you know, you don't want to be $1,000 short of a negotiation to get, you know, somebody that you really want to bring in,
Right.
talent wise.
I agree. Any other questions? All right, let's move to the next article, which is Article 15.
Article 15 is, this is a standard article that's on the special town meeting every year. This allows the transfer from the stabilization account, for the road stabilization account, to the capital account, so we can spend the money. This year it is increased by 37,500. Because we will take advantage of the Proposition 2.5 and increase it.
That's the first time we've increased it since we've had it.
Yep.
It's been here since 2014.
Correct.
Glad to see we're putting more money. More money for you to spend, sir.
Still not enough.
What's it coming from?
Not even close.
Who lost 37?
Any questions on the stabilization fund? All right, and then the final one for you guys is Article 17. That's $200,000 for water pollution abatement. Go ahead, Evan.
Yeah, what are we at here? Oh, sorry. This is a septic abatement program that we're trying to do. It's a betterment program. So we want to be able to lean on the Water Pollution Abatement Trust and start a program whereby if you are a homeowner that fails your Title V inspection, you can take out a low interest loan against the Clean Water Trust, and we will manage that through our betterment program. You'll be able to replace that and then pay that back through your taxes over time.
So $200,000, given the cost of septic systems that can be anywhere from 30 to 60,000.
Yep.
Is 200,000 enough, or is that you just trying to get the program started?
Get the program started. We apparently had this program in the past, and it did not take off.
No,
Right.
because they were getting lower interest rates from the banks.
Right.
Instead of the town.
Which we think two things. One, I think we can probably do better than that, but I also think that our rate can be better. But I also think that with what's happening with the Fed right now, I think that that's gonna
Change.
and then now we're gonna look like we will be the good money. So
What do you do to promote a program like this?
so this is the first time I've ever done it, but my initial plan is standard what we do with everything else, which is we push it out on our website, our Facebook page. We'll do a little blurb on GCTV, put it in the senior center newsletter, because I think a lot of the older folks that are trying to age in place are going to run into this.
Then the Board of Health, when somebody comes in for a permit, can do it
right,
too.
the normal stuff. Yeah.
So I'm just waiting to promote this program. You just have to go right over there, and when they come in and say my septic system fails and the people lose their mind, here's an application for the loan.
Right.
Once you get your construction paperwork. We had this program, and that Sue's recollection of it was right. It was
The interest rates are too
expensive.
high.
This came when they did the Title V
Yep.
change, and there was a
Yep.
big thing about being able to do it. So is this the same Mass General laws as that program was run under?
If I would never go back to an old warrant and copy and paste.
No.
Never
I'm not
something
talking
happened.
about that,
No, I'm
because we
kidding.
didn't.
That's exactly what I did. That's where I got it. This is from a town of Grafton warrant before, and we made some tweaks to make it modern, but it's essentially the exact same warrant article that already went through town meeting. The only part that I'm still getting a little bit of I have two different opinions on is whether the law mandates that we charge 5% for the betterment, or if we can charge up to 5% for the betterment.
I think it's up to 5%.
I think it's up to 5% too.
Yeah, I think it's up to 5%.
So-
What's the payback? 10 years?
It is 20. You can do
20.
10, 15, or 20.
Okay.
And it's at the discretion of the town of what you go with. I personally like the 20 and give people some breathing room, and then, when they sell the house,
Gets paid off right
paid
away.
off anyway.
There's a lot of decisions that go into it. You could have somebody that failed at a transfer
Right.
of their house and
Yeah.
use this and say, well, give us the 5-year version so we
Right.
can count on having that money back when you're projecting out.
Yep.
And do all kinds of crazy
So
stuff with
if,
that. But
if this is successful, it'll probably be, say the 200,000 goes right away, you might want to, so this could come back in the spring maybe if
Yeah.
all of a sudden people jump all over
If
it.
people use it, I think we would expand it and expand it and expand
Okay.
it. But we just honestly don't know. So that's the starting point.
I like it. I like it. Any other questions? All right, Paul, you want to come up to the table,
Sure thing.
please? So, Paul, you have Articles 2, 3, and 4. Article 2 is something about Fitzpatrick Road Bridge.
So we have a bridge on Fitzpatrick Road over Cronin Brook that we're replacing. We got a $500,000 grant, small bridge grant, but the total projected cost is about 1.2. So in order to do that, we as the town have to take the easements. We got state and federal money, but they won't take the easements. So we have to take the easements for the construction of said bridge.
So you have here, Evan, that it's a majority vote, but isn't anything with real estate a 2/3 vote?
I thought that easements were majority. You could be right, sir, and I can.
I just be careful and double check
Yep,
that.
I'll make
So
a
we
note.
get the right quantum of vote at town
Yeah,
meeting.
I will make a note.
So this is gonna allow you to do the project, basically.
Yeah, we did the same thing for Millbury Street.
I remember, yeah,
sidewalks.
we talked about, did we have the article last spring?
Yeah, the last
Okay,
meeting. Yeah.
Yep, yep,
So we do, yeah, George Hill, Millbury Street.
yep.
And,
So this is very similar.
yeah, it's the exact same wording. It's just change the name of the road.
All right, excellent. Any questions on that one?
So this is a
Good.
project that hasn't happened yet. Is that correct?
The engineering's done. The grant award has been received. So now it's just,
This is like a paperwork issue.
yeah.
Okay. Because there was some discussion online when that 50,000 came through that this was paying back for a project that had already happened. So I was kind of surprised when I saw it on here. So I guess there was just some confusion there.
Strange that there'd be confusion online.
Imagine.
Source of vast quantities. of
We need to stop
misinformation.
reading the online, I think is what we need.
Well, I think there was also questions like, there's a bridge on Fitzpatrick Road.
There's two.
All right, excellent. Let's see,
Oh.
any other questions on this one? Article 3 is this is the annual article to take $100,000 for plant upgrades. You have anything specific that you want to spend that on?
No, I'll just say, just an example, we spent $40,000 on replacing UV light bulbs. And it's hard to quantify when they're gonna go bad. It's all based on flows, cleanliness of the water, the intensity of the bulbs, the amount of bulbs that come on. And once they hit 10,000 hours, they need to be replaced. Like a fluorescent bulb, they start to lose their effectiveness after 10,000 hours. So it all depends on flows and loads, and so we just replace those, so it's just replenishing that
So
account.
$40,000, how many,
That's 40 bulbs.
really?
Yeah.
$1,000
There's four banks, 10 banks per bulb.
Wow.
That's why Paul's so tan.
Nice, big signs on the door. UV lightened effect.
Any questions on that? All right, and then the last one is $50,000 for the overflow and repair account. What are we gonna use that for?
So the example of that from this past year where we spent the money is there was a house service collapsed right on North Street just before the school. So it had been collapsed, we don't know for how long, several years, which allowed a boatload of dirt to get in the sewer line. So not only did it back up into that house inevitably, it backed up into the house directly across the street, which is lower. Fortunately stayed in both their basements, but it's just a matter of repairing the broken pipe, and cleaning the rest of it, cleaning the insides of the houses, cleaning the basement of two properties across the street. So an unknown, unforeseen occurrence. So that's what the fund is for, and that's what.
That's what it's there for.
Yep.
Any questions on that? Do you want to talk anything fire? No, I'm just kidding.
Nope.
Oh, you're here. Okay.
Why
There's nothing happening.
I'm here because we just had a fire call. Well, I may as well go in person.
Nice to see you.
Nice to
Thank
see
you so much
see
for
all
being
too.
here tonight.
Alrighty. Have a good night.
Chris,
It is a majority vote for easement.
it is a majority vote. Okay, I was wrong. Wow. Can't believe that I felt like the funds, I was.
I know. I know. I saw you had like a little seizure when that came out of your mouth.
Thank you for checking on that. All right, Chris is here to cover Articles 5, 6, and 7. So 5 is off-street parking. You want to walk us through that, sir?
Yep. So this article was kind of brought to our attention and started at the recommendation of the building inspector, looking at the parking requirements specifically in the historic district around the common, being a barrier to relocation of new uses. So this would remove the parking requirements for new uses or existing structures in that area. Any new construction in that area would still need to meet the parking requirements.
So it's assumed that the people that are already there already have parking, so why increase the,
Correct. So yeah, if a new business relocates and they need 40 parking spaces and the parking lot of the historic structure only has 20, this would allow that business to locate.
Okay.
And it doesn't preclude businesses from paving additional parking if they find that necessary. But
this one I know is 2/3. It's a zoning amendment, so I know this one's 2/3.
You're absolutely correct.
I like giving you a hard time.
No, that's fine.
Any questions? Any questions on Article 5? It's pretty straightforward. Makes sense. Everybody good with that one? All right. The next article. We're flying through this tonight. I hope town meeting goes
Yeah.
this quick.
I'm
Article.
still coming up with the punishment for William for putting majority on.
Article,
All the planning ones are majority by, and
they're all two-thirds. If they're all zoning amendments, they're two-thirds.
Agreed 100%.
Planning board will hold their requisite, have they already held public hearings on these, or they scheduled?
We have, yeah.
You have, okay. Planning board's unanimously in favor of these, obviously, because they're on the warrant?
Totally.
Okay. Next one, marijuana. What are we doing with marijuana?
So the marijuana bylaw, we've seen some significant changes at the CCC level. Primarily what this article is doing is realigning the language for delivery operations and the other amendments and revisions to the CCC language to align our existing bylaw with that. There's also some small tweaks to hours of operation to allow the businesses to be competitive regionally in the market. It aligns better with what many of the other communities have for hours of operation, and is a very minor tweak in the allowable hours.
So we're not adding any additionals, we're not gonna go through any of that stuff, right? It's just, okay. Cause I always love a good town meeting debate on
Ugh.
marijuana. Any other questions any questions, I should say, on Article 6? You guys are good tonight. All right, and then the final article for the planning board. Wow.
No.
Article 7 is an amendment to the use regulations. So what is this one doing for us?
So this one is looking at in the neighborhood business and commercial business districts. Currently, mixed use development is not allowed. What this will do is this will move it to a special permit with the planning board to allow businesses to apply for special permit for a mixed use development or mixed use in existing structures. An example that we have, we've actually had two businesses now. I spoke with one this morning that's looking to. Typically, they have an apartment on the structure or on the lot, as well as would like to have some small commercial operations such as a nano brewery or a dentist shop. This would now allow that to go ahead and new uses to do that and not be pre-existing non-conforming only.
So this is, sort of promotes better use of property and
Correct.
brings
Yes.
more tax revenue and things like that. So this is really pro-business is what this one
Yep.
more or less does for us.
Correct.
Pro business, pro home occupation type of.
I have a flair for the obvious.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Any questions on these? And I want to thank you, Sue, for drafting
Blurbs.
blurbs for these. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I think these are all pretty straightforward, pretty easy, and I think they're good zoning amendments. Are there any other questions for Chris? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Community Preservation Committee is gonna come see us tomorrow night. I just got an email from Jen.
Yep.
Wondering if we want her to come in tomorrow night to do a brief presentation on the project or present for questions. Do you want to handle that one tonight, or do you want us to have her come in tomorrow night?
If CPC's coming tomorrow night,
She should come tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think so.
Amber, will you write back to her?
She's also on the Zoom call right now.
Oh, Jen's here?
Yeah,
Is she?
She's
attendees.
There she is.
Oh, there she is.
yeah. I just.
Jen, you want to just take care of it tonight while you're here? Or do you want to come back tomorrow night with the CPC? I don't want you to have to come out twice.
She didn't go anywhere.
Well, no, I reached out to Amber because Lee and I were able to attend tonight, and that's fine. And then we thought it seemed a little funky to not have us and CPC there, so we were going to join tomorrow night and do it all together.
All right, why don't we do that?
But I realized that I'm still on the list here for the next agenda item, if you want to do that tonight.
Oh, Article 12. All right, why don't we do Article 12?
I
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
just thought of one quick question. I know Chris already left, but with that number 7, there's N's and we're adding S's and there's P's. The S is special permit. I got that. I'm just curious what the P is, if anybody here happens to know, since Chris left already.
Petulant. Prohibited.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. No, but that
What
would just
the
be
N?
no. That's just
Yeah.
N.
What is P?
I actually don't. I don't remember. It's phosphorus if you're using fertilizer.
Potassium. No, that's K.
Sulfur.
You know,
Oh,
we
that's-
ask
I
that
like prohibited.
We ask that every time.
I'll double check.
Yeah.
No, K is potassium. I think
That's
P
what
is
I said.
phosphorus.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah.
Skip that doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, I know what I'm talking about. You people just don't understand my language.
All right, so now I'm really confused now.
Why?
I'm looking at Article 11, I'm looking at Article 12. Aren't they the same thing?
No.
I started reading through this and it's something
What,
different.
so what's happening here is Article 11
Yep.
is you appropriating money from CPC to do the park. Article 12 is to authorize me to apply for grants to try to get as much of that $685,000 back. And the grant, and I'm going to forget the acronym top of mind, requires
Gimme.
LWCFA maybe, but it requires the town meeting has authorized us to
Go
follow.
ahead with it.
So if 11, say 11 for some reason fails, you'll withdraw 12.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Jen, tomorrow night's great. We don't need to talk about 12. Why don't we talk about 12 when we talk about 11?
I think that makes sense if Jen and Leah are willing to come tomorrow.
Yeah, we plan to come tomorrow. I just didn't know if you needed the TA and Evan, you were coming tomorrow. So Mark,
I'll
just let
be-
me know if you want a brief presentation or if you just,
I definitely want a brief presentation. I think the public
Okay.
needs to hear it, and I think the finance committee needs to understand it as well.
Exceedingly brief.
So I would appreciate that, Jen.
All right, you got it.
Thank you very, very much, and have a good night.
David's here, he knows what the P stands for.
What's P for?
P stands for site plan review.
Why isn't
that
S?
is it.
Said right here.
P.
So what?
Site.
That's what I
What is
said.
a site plan review? Just curious.
They have to come for a site plan before the planning board, and the planning board gets to talk about parking
This
and
is over and
size
done
of the
with. Why are we
building,
talking about this?
building
Why don't we
lot
get this
coverage,
speedy
things
end?
like that through a
It's
special
too late.
permit.
You know what I really like, Mark?
What?
Is that if you talk about zoning,
Yep.
Dave Robbins just appears out of the
Yeah,
It's like osmosis.
site plan review is sort of a simplified form of permit, but site plan review, basically the planning board reviews the plan to make sure that it's consistent with all the rules and regulations, but site plan review is basically just for the board to say, yeah, this looks good. Under site plan review, the board does not have the discretion to deny, except in really unusual conditions, but that's the difference.
But you can put
between-
conditions on, conditions on
Yes, we can put conditions on, but we cannot deny the permission to build. It's basically as of right with sort of just a stamp of approval from the board. As compared with a special permit where the board has the discretion to say, we can't approve this, we outright deny it.
Okay.
Thank you. It's nice to see you, sir. Do you want to argue with anybody on the finance committee? Everything's good?
No, I'm not in the mood to argue.
Anita, you want to come up?
Now, you could say something that might put me in the mood.
No, we're gonna be good. I think we're gonna be
I'm
good.
gonna keep my eye on Dave and see if he just disappears into the,
Yeah.
to the
He's
background.
better on Zoom to up
I can have another random
my
joke
favorite.
about
It's
it.
very
gotta go
nice to
back and
see you,
find that,
Ms.
make that
Patel.
into a gift.
Thank you for coming out tonight.
For having me.
So, Article 16 is something about a revolving fund. What are we looking to do?
Yes. So the school department has a special education program for students with disabilities with the goal of increasing their independence and vocational skills. And we are looking, we have entered into a lease at 204 Worcester Street in North Grafton. So we're looking to relocate this program from the high school to 204 Worcester Street. And we're looking for a town meeting to approve this article in order to create a revolving fund for the program.
So the revolving fund would cover all the expenses, I assume you'll be renting the
We'll
building?
be yes, so it will cover all the expenses and it'll also cover, we'll also be, depositing the funds into it because other towns, other school districts will actually be sending their 18 to 22-year-olds into our program as well,
And this covers everything, teacher expenses, all that?
everything.
200,000, doesn't seem like a lot for a program like that, but
Yeah.
What programs you offering?
So, it's a, 18 to 22 school to work program. So, there'll be support staff there.
And they'll be learning
Vocational skills. It'll be-
vocational skills and
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much, I know you guys are sharing that building with the bread guy. How much is he paying for part of the lease?
Yep, so right now we're negotiating the sublease right now.
Oh, you are, okay.
Yeah, so, but he's scheduled to, be subleasing 600 square feet,
Okay.
and it's going to be straight math, whatever we're paying
isn't
for.
that gonna be kind of difficult with the aroma for them to
Oh,
concentrate.
geez.
Well, they're gonna help you.
They're gonna help
They
them,
are
okay, that's a
going
good
to
thing.
be
They are.
Nice, nice, that's a good program.
Yeah, breads, Cinnabons, everything he makes.
Maybe they can eat a little bit too.
Yeah.
Get a little payment with bread.
I think this is awesome. Any questions for Anita? Always nice to see you, Anita. Thank you for being here tonight.
See you.
Thanks.
Should I come tomorrow night as well? I wasn't
I don't
sure.
think you need
It
to.
was a 2-day,
No.
No,
just once?
nope. Tomorrow night is gonna be community preservation night before the finance committee.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Fun night.
Bye, Anita.
Greg, you're right. Oh, go ahead, Greg.
So I noticed that Article 18 is not on the list. Is that because it's ours?
And I think we already voted to support it last meeting. But
Yeah.
we'll talk
Okay.
about it. When we get to it, we'll talk about it. What
Well,
I would
it's
like-
not. It's not on our list, so that's why I
No,
was.
good question. Good point.
I noticed that it says majority, but it's a charter amendment, so it should be 2/3.
Nope.
We don't.
I already had that. I already had that conversation with Sue tonight. It depends on how you wrote it, and I
Okay.
haven't read it yet. Did you write it as a home rule petition, or did you write it as a special act?
It says
How did you write
overall
it?
charter.
Home
Does
rule.
it say home? Oh, then it is 2/3. Because this is going to be a ballot. Well, hold on. You were right. I didn't read it. That's I thought we were going to do it as a home rule petition to the legislature. You wrote it as a special act. I mean, you wrote it as a.
I did it as a. I don't know. I said it to you. It said, "Do you like it?"
Yeah, I didn't read it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I did? I didn't look at the opening.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
Town
deal.
vote to amend section 12, 23B
Do a home
of the
rule.
Grafton Home Rule Charter as follows.
All right. So if we change it to seek special legislation to amend, then it's majority. But if you do this, then it has to go on the ballot next spring.
And we want to avoid that.
You want to avoid the ballot next spring.
Well, I think.
I think we should do it through.
Well-
I think we should do it through a home rule. I think we should do it through a legislative act. Do you?
So is
disagree?
this, so,
There's two ways to amend the charter, Skip.
right, that's what I was gonna ask.
There's
is-
two ways
so
to amend
I
the
have
charter.
always heard charter amendment to
Yep.
be one way of doing it. So that's
No.
why in the past we have had ballot
Yep.
things and then non-ballot things.
When we changed the finance committee appointment process,
Yeah,
we did it through a special act.
act.
And that just required legislative approval. I thought we were gonna do this the same way, but if we do it the way it's written, then you're right, Sue, it's a 2/3 vote, and then it will have to go to the ballot next spring. We can rewrite it, and I'll rewrite it if you want me to make it a home rule charter, a special act. Would you like me to do that?
No.
No?
Will this be ruled out of order by the moderator? Because that's a substantive change.
That is. And this has this been posted? Oh, never
Yes,
mind. All right,
it's
so
all
2/3
fine.
vote. That's my fault. I will
Can we-
take full
No,
responsibility.
No.
That's my fault. I didn't
Can
read
we
it
wait
close enough.
till
Let's blame William.
May and do this?
What?
Do it by home rule then?
So,
Well,
it-
the same thing's gonna happen because it'll be on the May ballot
so
if town meeting passes by 2/3 vote.
can I just bring up my ugly, don't like this whole thing anyways. Why change this now? In our bylaw versus charter thing is, this is more like a constitution that you just don't change because it's not going well. By the time the spring comes around, as you observed the last time, we're probably not gonna have anybody to make any changes anyways, so if we're gonna actually do this, let's figure it out
Well, what we did,
so that it can get done at the same time.
well, at your advice and Greg's advice, and Greg, correct me if I'm wrong at the last meeting, we changed this so that the bylaw will control the makeup of the 3 members. This
Yeah.
just says it's a 3-member committee as designated in the bylaw.
Right.
That addresses your concern.
All this does is eliminate the duplication of the 3 members
Right.
between the charter and the bylaws. It defers them to the bylaws.
It kind of makes it that, but in the bylaws, it's still the same. The bylaws won't change until at least next October.
So there's no rush on doing this now, is basically
Right.
what you're saying.
Right, unless you want to try and figure out what we want to do with
Well,
the
you'd have to do
bylaws
it-
and do it in the spring town meeting,
Well, since,
and then yank this out and put this back in as a special legislation thing. So then you get the special legislation thing and the bylaw change, setting up the finance committee oversight or selection process or whatever you want to call it, all at once, and it's over and done
defer-
with, and we don't have to change
I
it.
think Skip makes a valid point. I'll defer to the committee. What do you want to do?
So, I guess my question is, why don't we want to do the ballot?
It's just easier if you just have the legislature do it, but it's just a matter of preference of process, that's all.
So, but the fact that it's on there to go next onto the ballot, we could go with that.
Yeah. This allows us to, in as Greg said, it just takes out the 3 members. It allows the bylaw committee then to amend the bylaw on how they want the finance committee appointed. And then this just eliminates the double wording between the two. So I'm fine with that. And Sue, you were 100% right, as always. Why I ever doubt you, I have no idea. You never doubt her, do you?
Absolutely not.
You better not.
If I did, I would never admit it.
He would be,
Especially on a tape meeting, right?
he wouldn't be here.
So I think let's just leave it at, you're right, let's just leave it on and then we'll deal with it. It'll be a 2/3 vote since it's a charter amendment through the home rule petition that goes town meeting 2/3, ballot majority. That's the process we're gonna follow.
Does it
The
cost us
legislative
anything extra
process
to put it
is
on the ballot?
majority town meeting
Yeah.
and then the legislature.
In the spring?
Yeah, my
election?
my thoughts are it's like there's such a small number of people who even care about our municipal government, and then the people who care about how we appoint the finance committee is an even smaller fraction of those people. And I think we could propose anything, and if it doesn't sound crazy, people will support it.
Yep.
So,
All right, let's leave it.
So the ballot question would be in
The May election.
Right.
May election.
May election.
All right.
All right, okay. All right, so, process-wise, while the public hearing is open, can we take positions, or do we wanna continue the public hearing tomorrow night and then come back to a regular meeting, take positions and decide who's gonna write the recommendations? How do you wanna do it?
I think since we held the public hearing and the department heads who were here and adjust the articles, we could take positions on those articles.
Oh, absolutely, but do we wanna continue the public hearing before we do that, or make our debate part of the public hearing? Cause usually you close the public hearing and then you have the
Right.
debate. So do we wanna continue the public hearing to tomorrow night and then get back to the work?
I would prefer that. I
Okay,
think it'd
so
be
I'd
better.
entertain a motion to continue the public hearing to tomorrow
So moved.
night at 7:00.
So moved.
Is there a second?
second.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call, Heather? Dan?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Yeah,
Sue?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
Okay, so, going through this, Article 1 is the article to, have a tax bill under $100 go out twice instead of 4 times. Is there a position of the Finance Committee?
I move that we recommend
we vote
passage
tomorrow night.
of Article 1 as written.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call, Heather?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
Who wants to write it?
I'll do it.
Article 2 is an article for the Fitzpatrick Road allowing for easements that's by majority vote.
Sure.
Is there anybody wants to take a position on Article 2?
I move that we approve Article 2 as written. Recommend approval of Article 2 as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those by roll call, Heather?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
Anybody want to write this one?
I'll do that one
Look
too.
at
I'll
Skip.
sacrifice
You're
myself.
you're good.
I just have one very technical question if I missed, Evan. On Article 1, Mary mentioned 4. Is that technically because the first 2 tax bills are preliminary? And the second 2,
No, so she's basically saying we would bill, instead of 45, I think what Mary was getting at was $45 a quarter, not, so you would bill 1 and 2 on 3. Does that make sense?
I thought she was saying we,
No, what she's saying is
No,
you would
Mary's
send out
shaking my head. Look at-
you would
look at-
send out the original preliminary bill
Yep.
based on last year in Q1, and then usually what happens is you split that between 1 and 2. But now you'll just do that in 1, and then the bill that would go up for 3 and 4, you would just do once and 3.
right, that's what I mean.
That's what it
So
means.
that's what she was saying.
Mary, am I right on that?
Correct.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, I didn't know she was still here. Okay.
Mary never leaves our side because somebody's got to keep an eye on Evan.
That's right. As soon as I started talking, did you see her? She's like,
Yeah, cut them right off at the
just the
pass.
disgust on her face, shaking her head.
Okay.
Article 3 is the article for $100,000 to the sewer plant upgrade expansion account. Is there a position of the
I
finance committee?
move that we recommend passage.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Danny?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Anybody want to write 3?
All right, 3 and 4.
All right, Heather. All right, so Heather, do you want to make a motion on Article 4?
Sure, I make a motion that the finance committee approves? Yeah.
Recommends
Second.
Recommends passage of Article 4 as written.
And there's a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Excellent. Article 5 is the off-street parking amendment in the zoning bylaw. 5, 6, and 7, we already have blurbs written for those. Thank you, Sue.
I move we recommend Article 5
Second.
written.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
I'd entertain a motion on Article 6.
I move we recommend Article 6 as written.
Smoke it if you got it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
Article 7 is the changing the neighborhood and the other business district from a no to a special permit.
Move we support passage as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor by, any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
All right, we will come back tomorrow night for Articles 8 through 12, 8 through 13. We'll be doing those tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Article 14 is the employee contracts for the Assistant Town Administrator, Deputy Police Chief, and Police Lieutenant. Does the Finance Committee take a position on that article?
I move we recommend passage of Article 14 as written.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
And Greg?
Aye.
Article 15 is the oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. I think
We need somebody to write that one.
Mr. Chairman, I would
Oh, did I mess up?
ask that you designate Evan to write the blurb.
Evan, will you write the blurb for that one?
I don't even know what you guys are doing right now.
Article 14.
We don't know what you're doing
This
with
is not
Article
the board I'm
14
using
either.
For you, generally speaking.
Will you write our recommendation on
Sure,
that?
114?
Yeah.
No, don't. I'm only kidding.
Oh, you're joking? Oh, I thought you were being serious. I was gonna ask him to do it. I didn't have a problem with him doing it. Does anybody care if Evan writes it?
No, he's written other ones that we've had before.
Will you write that for us?
I will.
Oh, geez.
By the way, those of you who are writing the recommendations,
He's for pay.
it would be great if you were to get those to Amber before tomorrow night's meeting, so that if we want to look at them, we can approve them tomorrow night, so that we don't have to come back another night.
Did you get mine, Amber? I sent out this afternoon? Okay.
Yep. So if you can get them to Amber tomorrow morning, so that she can get them out to us, that would be awesome.
I sent it.
And that's, I'm saying that to you, Evan.
Yeah.
Tomorrow to Amber. Amber, you have my permission to yell at him if necessary.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I'm gonna get here tomorrow and ask Amber to write Article 14.
Amber, will you just write Article 14, please?
Amber and we'll do it together.
Okay. Article, I love this job. Article 15 is the road stabilization account. Is there a Finance Committee recommendation on that?
6:30.
To recommend, Finance Committee recommend passage of Article 15 as written.
Second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark, aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
I'll take this one.
Is Dan in two places? Are you home too?
No, but I'm voting twice.
No.
Yeah, he is,
I
isn't
just
he?
looked and.
He's
I
got,
see
he's
on
muted
Zoom.
though, so we can't talk from home, so we can't vote a second time.
Article 16. Oh, you guys are too funny. Article 16 is the new revolving fund for the schools. We want to take a position on 16.
I move we recommend passage as written.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Dan? No, just kidding. Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
All right, I'll take Article 16. I'll write that one. And then Article 17 is the revolving fund for the septic systems. Does Finance Committee want to take a position on that?
I move we support the passage of Article 17 as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
Greg?
Mark.
Aye.
Who's going to write 17?
I'll do this.
You do 17, Skip?
Yeah, I think I'll copy and paste from when I put it before the town meeting in 1991 when I was.
Mark, are you doing 15 and 16?
I'm doing 15 and 16.
Okay.
Yep. And then Article 18 is the Finance Committee amendment that changes the appointment process that says as described in Article 3. Does the Finance Committee want to take a position on that?
I recommend the Finance Committee recommend passing. I move the Finance Committee recommend passing of the article as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
I'll be consistent and say no.
Aye.
Thank you, Sue. Greg?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
Hey, Greg, will you write that one for us?
I think Skip should write it.
That's what I just said to Sue. She's asking me who's doing 17. I'm writing 17. I'm copy and pasting
And
from
you
what I
could
put
do
on the
18.
town
I
warrant.
mean, you'd have a real good perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
The
Greg, will you write?
the minority opinion.
Yeah. Greg, will you write 18?
Yes.
Thank you, Greg. All right. The next thing on the agenda is to confirm the attendance at the, it's my birthday. At the annual meeting on November 5th, which is the greatest day of the year, Evan.
Agreed.
Who's going?
Where is it being?
Dan and Victoria?
That's it.
I think
Yep,
the only-
I'm
Yeah,
going.
right now I just have Dan and Victoria going.
Where is it being held this year?
Ooh, that was in a
Where's it
meeting
being held?
packet.
Sharon, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sharon?
So anybody else want to go?
No, I
No? Anybody else?
God, she sounds
The
like
enthusiasm,
exhausted thinking about going to Sharon.
It's unbelievable.
Did you
I
have your
did look
coffee
at
this
the
morning?
I did. I looked at the workshops and they haven't changed.
They haven't changed it, the same ones every year?
They're almost.
Victoria, you'll get, as a new member on the Finance Committee, you will get a lot out of it. So I'm glad you're
You
going.
will.
Let me ask you.
I'm very much so looking forward to it.
Yep.
And I'll be celebrating your birthday the whole time, Mark.
Thank you, Victoria. I appreciate it.
Wow.
Nick, you're not interested in going?
I can't.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
You
You're gonna be
you celebrate your
too?
birthday at your house.
Meet you at the bar.
Oh
Awesome.
yeah, I've debated on that one and I have other conflicts, unfortunately.
One thing you can do, Nick, after it's over, they do post things on their
Virtually.
finance. You can go and
It's
check to see what the
section.
materials they presented, so.
So this isn't a bill yet, Amber, right?
Right, I haven't even checked out yet. That's just a screen grab of my cart.
Okay.
So you can see what it would be after it was finalized.
Okay.
I think if I remember correctly, in the past they've had a lower price for new members. I think.
No,
No.
it's always the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never
They
mind.
don't give us a break on anything.
I thought new members.
I don't know. I've never gone.
No,
We do get a discount for being due paying members.
that's about it.
It's $65 if you don't pay dues.
Ooh, $10.
Right.
Well, how much are dues?
200.
What?
Right. 180 bucks in the hole.
No, Victoria
Municipal math.
will get a lot. As a new member on the Finance Committee, Victoria will get a lot out.
Oh,
Yes,
she will.
you
Yeah.
will.
All right, so just those two members are going. Have fun.
Yep.
And then minutes Amber, great job on your first set of minutes for us.
Thanks.
Thank you very, very much. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of our September
So moved.
14th. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor by roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark? Aye. Nick?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Aye.
Sue? Greg?
Aye.
Angelina?
Aye.
Victoria?
Aye.
Okay. All right, so tomorrow night, we reconvene at 7:00. We'll be meeting with the CPC and the Recreation Commission on those articles. And then everybody that's supposed to draft a summary, please get it to Amber tomorrow morning. And Amber, if you can get it out to us before the meeting, that would be awesome, if you have time. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, before you adjourn,
I'm not adjourning yet.
do we need to do the logistics meeting?
No.
I don't think we do either.
I don't think we have to. I don't think, this is
Before
gonna
town
be,
meeting, before
Yeah.
town
Yeah, but
meeting,
it's only-
no.
This,
this is gonna be the easiest town
Right.
meeting you've ever had.
Don't
Mark.
say that.
Oh,
Don't
sorry.
say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
If it ever
When you
took
just
3
write
nights, I
majority
would've
on
shot
everything,
you.
it's gonna
Oh my
sail
God.
through. No, we were having some scheduling conflict.
Well, isn't the moderator away?
Yeah, well, yeah, and she's gonna zoom in and blah blah blah. But I just think, why have
don't
her
need
do that?
No, this is simple. It's straightforward.
Even the regular town meetings, like now,
Right.
the outside ones were complicated. These ones, it's pretty much the same every time.
Well-
Except we can't have Sue down on the floor and have to look backwards at.
No, oh, by the way, we're up on the
I'm
stage.
gonna put you. I figured it out.
Don't upset this young lady.
Listen. I learned my lesson.
That was.
I went home and I told my wife, I don't know if I have a job tomorrow. Sue's coming after me.
If I may make a suggestion,
Sure.
it's always nice to meet in joint session with the full select board and the full finance committee. But when we do town meeting, logistic meetings in where I work, it's just the moderator, myself, the town clerk, town council, and the chair of the finance committee. And that's it. We don't have, and the chair of the select board.
Yep.
We don't bring everybody together. We just have that small group.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
it's a lot easier.
Yep.
Not that we shouldn't all participate, but it just.
No, I just think sometimes in the past, the finance committee has had like we've had a meeting to, like, if articles changed or.
And most of the times we've had to come because there were so many last minute changes.
Correct.
And all the warrant articles for numbers.
Yep.
That we had to reconsider and ask questions. And,
It-
I mean, that's basically how it's been for a long, long
Yeah.
time.
It hasn't been that way the last
No.
three town
No,
meetings.
agree.
Oh, what's different?
Yeah, I agree. Because we don't get numbers changed and
Sometimes I can't
everything's
help
right
myself.
on.
Here.
Don't
No,
hurt
I
yourself
agree.
patting yourself in the
I'm
back.
not patting myself. I'm patting him on the back. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, I don't. I just even the last one we did in the spring was kind of just all of us sitting around saying, "So we're gonna do what we always do."
Yeah.
This is who's reading it, great. Okay,
Right,
move on.
exactly. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I don't think you need to do
I
it.
think if anything gets red flagged when we send out, the final warrant with the recommendations, then we can call a meeting, or we can
Well, we
get.
usually take a vote
people together.
before town meeting starts to
Right.
reconsider.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you would still do that at like your 6:30.
We'll still get together. Yeah, because now we'll meet at 6:30 because the meeting
Yep.
starts at 7 because the new bylaw is
Right.
in effect.
Right. So I think you could use that for
Yep.
finance committee business, but as far as coordinating with the select board, I think it's pretty
Yeah,
straightforward.
works for me.
We're good with that. Committee all happy?
Greg's got his hand up.
Greg, go ahead.
Plan.
I assume there's no consent agenda this time?
No, sir. I would be surprised if you ever see that on anything other than the May annual.
Okay.
Because that's the only one that has those really
Consent
consistent
agenda-able thingy.
Yeah, like
Housekeeping.
hearing towns reports and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, great meeting, everybody. It's always a pleasure to get together with everybody. I'm going to adjourn us, and we'll reconvene tomorrow night at 7:00 to continue the public hearing. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Amber.